Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about a message that has been strongly promoted in our environment. I have in smaller pockets covered this topic already in my past video, but I feel that it is something that is really important and the crux of it needs to be understood well. Haven't you heard this? Pull yourself together. Don't be vulnerable in front of others. Do not show your emotions. Others will take advantage if you are vulnerable in front of people. All these messages keep getting circulated in our environment and we pick up on it and we start reflecting on these messages and working accordingly. Well, there are a lot of problems of being in this state. It is really important for us to be able to overcome this particular messaging because it's very problematic from the general sense. First of all, the idea of holding back your emotions, holding back your vulnerability means that you have this mental load of constantly appearing to be put together all the time. It's so much effort. Don't we have those breakdowns when we are just vulnerable, when we just do not know how to pull ourselves together? Don't we feel vulnerable or clueless at times? What's the harm in sharing it? There is this general sense that if I share something that is very personal, it will be used against us. Let's explore this message. What does it mean? What does it mean when you say that someone else is going to use some information against me? If I choose to share certain information, the information is just known to this person and they might perhaps bring it up in the future conversations. But when we closely understand it, what it basically means is that there have been moments of vulnerability when we've shared certain information. That being said, we do not like the fact that the other person is aware of this information, and therefore when this person talks about this information or implies that this person is aware of that particular information, we become a bit uncomfortable with this. So the concept of taking advantage is usually restricted to our own discomfort with the idea of this information being shared by other people or our fears that other people will know that we are not strong enough. There is some sort of a cyclic pattern. I'm not sure if I'm able to express it right, but what I really mean is that the idea that we are supposed to always be very personal about our lives is really problematic and leads to a lot of emotional harm that we put to ourselves. The idea that we are not supposed to share anything, the idea that we are supposed to hold back our emotions can mean that we may isolate ourselves when we are most vulnerable. Isn't it the last thing we're supposed to do? When we are vulnerable, when we are going through something really difficult, the first thing that we should be doing is to reach out to people. Of course, choose your people. Identify who you want to go to. And if you feel that you do not have access to those people, that means that we need to build that sort of a network around us. I am not saying that, go announce everything to everyone in the world. No, you don't have to do that. But why don't we create that sort of a network of people who we can always trust our information with? You need not really broadcast everything, but you can still have one or two people that you truly trust and who will always stand up for yourself and share things with them. Mutual sharing is especially important, and the concept of isolating yourselves or pushing away people around us, which has been ingrained in our nature and is sometimes instinctively surfaced when we are going through a bad time, is really important and needs to be broken down. There are certain patterns that we display which are not healthy, and identifying and acknowledging the need to correct them is really important. The next thing that we need to understand is that people are not perfect souls. Everyone, and I mean everyone in our world, have their own spaces where they may be vulnerable at times. They either choose to share or not share that part with us. Being vulnerable means being attuned to your own feelings, to your emotions, and holding space for ourselves. It is okay for us to acknowledge what's going on inside and not actively working on suppressing our emotions. I've already spoken about emotional intelligence and the importance of it in our past session. Please refer to that video and maybe that will help us to identify why we did not really emotionally shut ourselves down. The concept of being strong is very problematic. Strength basically reflects shutting down our emotions, and that is not really healthy. A person can be really emotionally immersive. They can express their emotions, but at the same time be able to actively take charge of their lives. I'm not asking you to really try to cry. I'm saying just reflect back on your emotions, understand what's going on, and be comfortable with the idea of being vulnerable in certain moments. Being more attuned to your feelings, being more attuned to your emotions means that you're empathetic and have the capacity to introspect on your lives. It does not mean that you're weak. There is nothing that means weak. Being able to share your feelings, being aware of your own feelings, holding space for yourself and other people is really emancipating. It's a liberating feeling to not care that other people consider you to be emotional. Think about it, and if you still do not agree with me, feel free to comment and maybe I would have some replies to give. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I make mental health videos and I would be happy to have more suggestions on certain topics that you want me to be covered. Thank you so much.